So I feel the need to share this thought that I'm having at the moment. Just got home, just got back in the trailer rather. Think I'm going to take another walk. So when I see Willamette Week focus on, these are the 27 things that we like about Portland the most. It's the whitest city in America. That's on the list, along with the fact that it's the most gentrified. They left out the fact that it's number one in child sex trafficking. They left out anything negative. They left out, the whole thing about the homeless problem. They left out the whole fact about Portland natives being priced out of their home, and they focused on all this other stuff that relates to this other demographic. And there's definitely a demographic in human beings that love the idea of going somewhere at the same time and fucking it up just like they fucked everything else up. There's a certain demographic of America that just eats that shit up. It's like in the human psyche, just devour and put up a fake progressive image as to what you are, when beneath the surface there's a hungry beast lurking, just feed me. So, yeah, that is a recent report that Portland's the whitest in all the cities in America. So when I talk about certain issues, for those of you that don't live here, you gotta understand, Portland's a different city than where you are. There's nothing wrong with white people, folks. But I'm just gotta be blunt. The white people that seem drawn to Portland, they're like okay, look, the tribalistic leanings, and I'll use that term over racist, this tribalism, I see more of it here. I used to just call it clickiness or cliques, noticing the cliques, in high school. But like Portland has a lot of like subculture cliques, like once you get out of high school and you become an adult. And being that it's an era of time where there is so much propaganda in the news, and there are so many people that have voted Democrat thinking that they're, awake to something. A lot of them are totally okay with the U.S. government and the system as a whole, even if they may act like they're, a counterculture type of individual or a new ager or a spiritualist. You have a lot of yes men and women that have chosen to call Portland home. And that's just how it is. And that's the world that we live in. So when I say that I feel that this demographic of white people are trying to get away from people that don't look like them, I'm being serious. And I'm not blowing smoke up your you-know-what. I'm speaking from the heart, and I'm speaking from my intuition. I'm not just like, how can I say the most outrageous, offensive things to my predominantly white audience? How do I upset you? No. I'm just trying to, as therapy, use YouTube and go, yeah, I feel really alone sometimes in this city because everyone, they look very similar and they stick to their own. They're very tribalist. And I'm just being open about that. And I don't see very many people that look like me. And honestly, there are plenty of people that are much browner and people from Middle Eastern countries. But you know what? There's no connection between me and them. I don't speak their language. And I'm certainly not of some of their religions. I'm really considered for the most part kind of weird anyways. Even to people from foreign countries. They look at my content and information. It really doesn't matter what race you are. If you're like the majority of most people, you're not going to get some of the things that I'm talking about. It's like there's only like a minority of the human population that's genuinely waking up, that's in touch with their real self. It's really a minority. It's not a majority. It's not a 99%. It's only a minority. So I appreciate those of you that are viewers of mine. I appreciate you letting me share every now and then when I do need to share and just release some energy. It's frustrating being in a city where you feel like you're not trusted because of the propaganda of the day. And even though, yeah, I could look Greek, I could look Italian, I could look, this, that, and the other, the fact of the matter is I sure as hell don't look Irish. You know what I'm saying? I sure as hell don't look like I'm from Scotland. And what I'm trying to communicate now in a calm way is that there almost seems to be a draw to Portland by certain types of Western Europeans that seem to have that, I'm trying to use my words carefully because I got nothing against any group, but it's like there's a certain and I have plenty of friends, male and female, with red hair, but there's something about some of the Portland transplants that have come here. They act really tribalist, like, what I'm trying to kick out is some of us have stuff in our genes where we're just, hey, there's someone from another tribe who's really, really far away from us. What does it mean? Does it mean it's a threat? What does it mean? And and sometimes women can look at it in a fascinating way, like, "Ooh, he's handsome," but if they're got a lot of mind control in them and a lot of fear, to fear certain types, or if they have kind of this man hate going on, and they may fear certain men or resent certain men more than others. Um, Maybe they'll have more of a beef with men in other cultures or in other countries rather than the ones in their own country. So, to them, maybe they have that biological imperative. Like, he doesn't look like he's from our tribe. Is he safe? And honestly, I feel like that's what's going through their head. So I hope people understand where I'm coming from with that. It doesn't necessarily mean someone's racist, but certain people act like they got the biological imperative or code to know when there's someone that's not from their part of Western Europe. And there's something about the unfriendly look on the faces. Other people that are white that live in the city. There's a white couple, and they're making a documentary called Whitelandia, and they're white. They're white as white. I think she's a redhead, and they're making a documentary called Whitelandia. I'm not even making a mini segment on that. I'm telling you what's already being put out there in the news, and merely expressing how it's something I'm working on to step back from any illusion of separation and any identity with the flesh, and really to use these experiences where I see people caught in the illusions of separation to really connect with my higher self, or to connect with the real me that's beyond the Alexander Saeed Ansari. Okay? The real me that derives from that, and this fusion of East and West that I self-identify with. But beyond these earth bloodlines, I'm more than this and you're more than this. But I have to keep a strong guard up, you could say. I have to stay strong because I'm in a city where there are very few people. I mean, there are Hispanics, but I'm not exactly Hispanic looking. I'm like my own thing. And honestly, when I look back at my own gaze, I don't dislike what I see. I see a handsome face, but I feel that for some of the people here, when they don't know you, and you're walking down the street, and I've got my, and I'm looking down, and, maybe listen to my music, and I'm in my own little world, that biological imperative is there, and I just got a haircut. When my hair is curly looking and I haven't shaved, I look like a more ethnic creature of the earth, and people act in a certain way. So this whole time being back in Portland, being home free, going from place to place, it's been difficult. And it may not just be that. It really is a fear or resentment of men just as a whole, including white men. So it's just difficult to be a single male, especially lower income, in this community or city. And being perceived as somewhat of a conspiracy theorist doesn't really help either. And having really unique spiritual views and other really strong opinions about Portland. People don't like that shit. So I've pretty much been walking over the fire, urban, digital, Sufi style. Just say whatever you want, sticks and stones, and all that stuff. These people, I don't know what happens, whether they change when they get to Portland or what, but I don't really see a whole lot of empathy. I've got a couple friends out there that understand what I'm getting at, that do live in Portland, that are white, that do understand that there's kind of like an influx of a lot of people here. And all I'm saying is sometimes it's really hard to connect with those people when they seem like they're still in this mindset of fight or flight or fuck. And I notice with a lot of women, if they're not interested in you on a physical level, men are subjectified and they're feared. Or, maybe some women throw up a guard if they see a man they perceive to be attractive. That may be happening too in some circumstances. There may be, quite a few women out there that are scowling when in fact their body is attracted. I've never really found that to be normal behavior.